What's up, everybody? We are back. John Delarose here, delarose.com. That's DELARROZ.com. I just released my new graphic novel, Deus Vult, which is a new kind of culture, which is kind of an old kind of culture. We're taking things back to when things were fun, when you could have great fantasy, epic adventures, strong male leads who are rescuing damsel in distresses. I know this triggers a lot of people who are going to watch this video checking out the board game stuff these days. But it's great stuff. This is the stuff that our culture was made of. It's got a wonderful message to it. Heroism, action, beautiful art. I want you to check this out, and please support the channel by backing Deus Vult. This is the best comic book you're going to read this year. I guarantee it. All right. A lot of people have been asking me to make this video for a while, and I had to do some research on the situation to find out what was going on. But the controversy today starts with a board game designer called Daniel Tascini. He is most famous for making the board game Marco Polo, among others. And he is a very highly regarded board game designer, Euro game designer, and is a non-American. So, of course, you know, he should not have to deal with the American cultural nonsense. But unfortunately, he does. He came out with a statement, which is on Google Translate. And we'll kind of try to get this a little better into the bar here. Whoops. All right. And I'll show the Google Translate version of this because I don't speak Italian. Have orcs always been represented as black? Yes, we're back to the orc thing again. And they're making a nonsense thing out of orcs again. This is proof of bad faith or strong myopia of those who support these arguments. Yes, it is. He's right. The distinction that is made in fantasy has always been light and darkness. So that is evil and dark want to see us as an analogy with dark color of African skin, which is not the same thing, and he is correct. It ranges from a shade of light beige, which usually much lighter and tanned Italian, a shade of dark brown. I'm sure this doesn't work out great in translation, but what he's trying to say is that when you're talking about somebody's skin color, we're obviously not talking about, you know, light like and darkness like the light, like the sun, and the blackness of space versus a pigment. It's a very different thing. That it's taking a idiom and changing it to fit this modern social justice garbage perspective. Okay. And I will never call them black because they are not black. Yes, orcs are a fantasy race. They're not real. Spoiler alert. I have lots of African friends, and this is where he's going to start to get into trouble. And not in general do I call them just by their gender, which why should I distinguish by gender or race? Yeah, you don't ever, unless you're an SJW, go up to your friends and go, "Hello, my black friend." I mean, it's just crazy. I was making fun of this with somebody the other day, and I was like, "I'm just going to introduce you as my Arab friend, you know, from now on," because apparently you're supposed to virtue signal that these days. But normal people, again, don't do this. And, of course, non-racist people don't do this, which this guy is obviously not a racist, and that should end the video. But unfortunately, it's not going to. All right. But among us in friendship, I call them with the soft, you know, because that's what you call your bros. And they don't take offense because I repeat the meaning of every word depends on situations, obviously. And that's true. And that's why that's used among a lot of people. That word is used normally, and people shouldn't be afraid of words. It's ridiculous. Obviously, this guy's saying racism is bad with this statement. That's what's utterly ridiculous. But now, because they're trying to just connect things and trying to ruin people's careers, and they succeeded here, they are just pushing everything to the extreme boundaries where they will actually want people to be racist, which means they are very cognizant of people's skin colors all the time, rather than just getting along in a society, which is what they used to promote. So it's the direct opposite of the I have a dream about not being judged by the color of your skin. They want everybody to be judged by the color of their skin all the time. So Mr. Tascini here got fired. His board game publisher dropped him, of course, for no reason. He didn't do anything wrong. He was just saying that orcs are not black people. And it's very bizarre to me. Let me stop this for a second. Why do SJWs think black people look like orcs? But that's another video, I guess. Jeez, creepy. All right, well, that's that. So, of course, Rahdo, the YouTuber who has 100K subscribers, I'm gonna get piled on for this, but what can you do? Chimed in on this and just said, look, the guy was not being racist. It's obvious, and he was correct. And what happened at this point was an SJW mob came after him. Look at this. Now you got Rahdo racist, rah, all the way down. And of course, it's led by our friend, board game designer Eric Lang, who rabble-rouses about this stuff, tries to cancel people and ruin people's lives on a regular basis, even though he, again, has admitted to harboring and hiding information about Joss Whedon's sexual misconducts. This guy, for some reason, is a cultural icon who does this sort of thing and starts to go after Rahdo, so everybody else does. So Rahdo, being the good compliant man that he is, even after, people are like, dude, don't cancel this guy, this doesn't even make sense, and he's not sorry. He always says he's not sorry when he has a bad take like this. Eric Lang is just really, really one of the worst people out there. It's sad. All right. But Rahdo, of course, goes, oh, don't defend me. So instead of actually taking a stand and supporting this poor board game designer who just says orcs and black people are not the same thing, and you shouldn't view black people as orcs, apparently Rahdo thinks that you should view black people as orcs, and you should be triggered by all these words all the time, and you should cancel and ruin board gamer designers' careers, even though he stood up for the guy initially. So he made an hour-long apology video about how I need to be better and see racism and kowtowed to the SJWs 100%. It was really absolutely tragic to watch this. I wanted to vomit in my mouth over and over when I just hear him talk. He was talking about watching sensitivity videos on racism and things like that. Just totally brainwashed. This cancel culture thing needs to stop. It's going too far. It's so far over the line, every normal person understands that this is not a good thing. Rahdo, you were correct in defending him originally. There is no racism here. He is saying racism is bad. Just because he had a word in Italian that doesn't translate the way that you like things to do in American doesn't mean that you need to cancel him and get him destroyed. In fact, you should be condemning people who do that. But you're too scared because all these board game designers who are doing the canceling are funding you. This is the real problem with channels like Rahdo, is he gets sponsorships, he gets free games, he gets kickbacks. That's the problem with the board game review industry in general. And while I'm starting to review board games, I'm never going to accept any sort of kickbacks from these board game companies because it just doesn't make any sense. Not that they would anyway, because, I'm a guy you got to cancel. They got a virtue signal that I shouldn't be playing their games as a customer of theirs, which is another story again. But that's where we're at in culture today. Unfortunately, you can't say that black people are not orcs without getting canceled by weird white dudes who believe black people are orcs. Because apparently believing black people are orcs is not racist, and believing black people are not orcs is racist. Clown world. Alright, so I tried to discuss this with Rahdo before he made his video, of course. And I said, hey, Rahdo, come hang with people who don't hate you. I'll stream with you, talk games, note politics, just love. Just love and politics. Show board gamers how to do it, that we can all get along, be diverse and inclusive together, and all this. Because he was getting canceled at the time before he made his really cringy video here. And I was just trying to help out. Just be a friend, right? Well, it's not about diversity and inclusivity with these types. It's just about hatred. It's about the mob. It's about appeasing the mob 100% of the way. And he thinks, apparently, as a white male, which I'm not. I should make sure I'm clear. I'm not white like Rahdo is. That he thinks if he just virtue signals enough, he'll get canceled last. But we see the slightest misstep. People like Eric Lang are very ready to take advantage of this. They want the blood of Rahdo on their hands. They want that scalp. And, it's not going to work out for him in the end. Whatever. How do I reach these kids? I'll just keep making videos myself. I'm going to change the board game industry myself, like I'm changing the comic book industry myself. And again, I hope you'll back Deus Volt. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back with more cultural news and reviews soon, and we will end cancel culture. See you guys.